Hey Gabby. Yes, so I had the same problem when I opened up your model. Why? We could, if we were in a firm and actually, we might do it exactly this way if we were in a firm. It's about how much time we have. We don't have time to figure out the actual problem. One thing I'm noticing that you have a pretty large file, and it seems larger than it would need to be for what we're doing. So I'm wondering if something got doubled or there's something gummed up the works here. Um, but that's fine. We'll find a workaround. One thing we noticed right away is that it should say zones right here. So there's something wrong with the simulation, like you said. I went back and checked, or let's go back and if we look at, oops, seems like the simulation's working like this. The site information's fine, or the site simulations that are built in seem to be working. I think that we're okay with. And this is, I know it is because it's been working for me. My climate studio has been working. So the next step is we say, well, how do we fix this quickly? Well, what are we trying to do? We're trying to do a thermal analysis. Okay, what do we need for that? Well, we don't need all this stuff. All we need really is an envelope, windows, and enough of the site that's affecting the sun. So let's just try to see if we can isolate that and if that will work. So um, first thing, I'm just going to turn the side off. You'll notice there's a couple things different, like these windows look different than the others. My C plane is coplanar with this wall. I'll tell you why in a second, why that's true. Um, but let's just open up a new Rhino file. If we go to, so we're just in a blank file. Let me change my units before I forget. I think my preset's meters. I just want to make sure this is. I'm going to put this at feet. Um, Yeah, so here we are in thermal analysis. We already see zones here. It's waiting for some zones to happen. So there's something wrong with that portion and that particular file that got corrupted. It's a bunch of math, right? I mean, it's not, we have no idea what's going on behind the scenes in the software because, like I say, this is basic geometry, it's math, and we're looking at the graphic interface. So I think it's just something with your file. Actually, let me do this. So let's go. I turned off. Oh, and one thing I noticed, by the way, is that your um, your building envelope is not on these walls. It's where you might think it is. It's on this building plan. So I don't know if that's interesting. But anyway, I'm going to select those objects, hit Control C, and then paste it in this file. And so there we have it. And it already sees that as a zone. So I think it was a zone in your other file. Something got corrupted, but I bring it in here. It's already ready to go. Awesome. So what do we need next? We need windows. Another problem I found that you had is if I come over here and um, if I just select the windows. So let me come down here, select sublayers, Control C. And if I paste them in place, there they are. Awesome. Um, but if I select one now and I try to make it a window, and actually here's the windows that you chose. It looks like unless those are the ones that I chose before, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Um, I select it, but it's not showing up as a window here. Why is that? I think it's because these are not coplanar, and this because I know this because this has happened with some other people. Um, Somehow how you drew this, you didn't draw, I think you did not draw these rectangles exactly on the surface here. You may have a bet, I bet you're better at Rhino than I am. So I do things in a clunky way. I tested that already by drawing, I redrew these two windows, and the way I did it was I uh, moved my C plane to be coplanar with this wall, and that's why this this little grid right here is co-planar with that. Um, if you know another way of doing it, fine. But the point is, I now can guarantee that what I'm drawing is going to be on this surface because this is the grid is where I'm drawing. I can come and um, mimic the placement of your windows, draw a rectangle. This is the way I do it 'cause it seems simpler. Now select that curve to make it a. I'm not being very efficient here. To make it a. Oh, I'm spacing out. Okay, to make it a surface. Now, if I select that surface and copy it, Control C, I come over to our other model and Control V it. Now I have a window there, and I select that, say OK. It shows up as a window here, right? Huh. I turned off sticky key somehow just now. Anyway, you can see it there, right? Oh, no, now it's working. So, okay, so now I've got my zone, my thermal zone, and my window. I can bring the other windows in that's doing the same thing. I should be able to bring in the site, for example. Let's go back to yours. I can bring in the rest of the building. I think I can just bring in the whole site. Let's just see if I can. Um, that shouldn't affect anything. I'm not saying we need to bring in the whole site, because you could just bring in that one tree or, whatever you think is going to be part of this. But that did not, we got in some kind of invalid boundary down here. That's interesting. So that might be where the problem is. You see over here, we have this invalid boundary. And I'm not sure where it is. I don't feel like finding it right now. I'm going to Control Z just to get rid of this. So that's the process. It should work. You should just bring in what you need to make your thermal analyses. Now, the other question was about the library. So let's go and look in our zone here. And in the envelope, let's just look at anything. Let's say we want to change, you were talking about ICFs. So let's say we're going to change the facade. And we can pick, actually let's see, I think there's some that we don't really need it. Let me click through some of these. This actually would work fine. All right, so I'm just picking this because it has two thin layers and a central inner layer. Don't need this at all. All we're doing is getting something that we can edit, because right now these are all locked. We can't edit them, right? But if I now copy this, I duplicate this, and I name it ICF. Now I'm in the ICFs, I can edit it, right? So there's this little editing box. And I can change all of these layers. I can add layers. So let's go and let's make our plaster. Um, let's make it XPS, which is just a kind of a board insulation, right? These are all, I don't know, these are the same. And you may want to use some other kind of insulation. I don't know. Oh, and let's change this to IP. So we want it much thicker than that. Let's make it actually let's make it uh, quarter of a foot. And we should wait. Can I edit this? I mean, I just didn't change it. Let's see. Board. Okay. Right. So there, I did that. I could do the same thing up here, or I could just actually, I don't know how you duplicate it. I don't do this very much. So let's go ahead and just change this one also. Make it 0.25 feet. And change it to XPS. Then we'll make this 6 inches, so 0.5 feet. or we could make it thicker, whatever, it doesn't matter, right? zero point 0.5 feet, and we're going to make it concrete of some kind. So let's see what they've got. We don't want lightweight concrete. This looks like a normal concrete mix. Let's just use that. Um, so now we've got, maybe this XPS is too thick. I don't know. Maybe we want this to be thicker out here. We could now add like a screed layer if we wanted to the exterior. Um, so maybe that's stucco. Actually, they have a line. Yeah, there we go. Let's do stucco on the outside. We can, and where is that? Yeah, that's, we have outside, top, inside, bottom. The stucco's on the inside. We could make it on the, we don't want it anywhere near that thick, I wouldn't think. But maybe so. You might, no, it wouldn't. It'd be like, um, let's make it something like that. Oh, it's not a number. Could do it both sides. We could add more insulation on one side if you wanted to have it, because this isn't very much insulation that we have right now. Um, we choose it, and then we can choose that for that ICF material. Actually, let's just find it for our exterior wall, and there we have it there now. All right. So I think that's the two questions you had. If please have a back and forth with me. I know this is getting very close to the end, but I'd love to help you get this as good as you want it to be. Um, and just email me again. All right. Talk to you soon. Let me know if you have any questions.